We will now see about the characteristic and location of biomes to the patterns of global winds and ocean currents. Tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforests are home to more species than all other biomes combined. The leafy tops of tall trees extending from 50 to 80 meters above the forest floor form a dense covering called a canopy. In the shade below the canopy, a second layer of shorter trees and vines form an understory. Organic matter that falls to the forest floors quickly decomposes, and the nutrients are recycled. Abiotic factors. Hot and wet year-round, thin, nutrient-poor soils. Dominant plants. Broad-leaved evergreen trees, ferns, large woody vines, and climbing plants, orchids, and bromeliads. Dominant wildlife. Herbivores such as sloths, tapirs, and capybaras. Predators such as jaguars, anteaters, monkeys. Birds such as toucans, parrots, and parakeets. Insects such as butterflies, ants, and beetles. Piranhas and other freshwater fishes. Reptiles such as caimans, boa constrictors, and anacondas. Geographic distribution. Parts of South and Central America, Southeast Asia, parts of Africa, southern India, and northeastern. Tropical dry forest. Tropical dry forests grow in places where rainfall is highly seasonal rather than year-round. During the dry season, nearly all the trees drop their leaves to conserve water. A tree that sheds its leaves during a particular season of each year is called deciduous. Abiotic factors. Generally warm year-round, alternating wet and dry seasons, rich soils subject to erosion. Dominant plants. Tall deciduous trees that form a dense canopy during the wet season. Drought-tolerant orchids and bromeliads. Aloes and other succulents. Dominant wildlife. Tigers, monkeys, herbivores such as elephants, Indian rhinoceroses, hog deer, birds such as great-pied hornbills, pied harriers, and spot-billed pelicans. Insects such as termites, reptiles such as the snakes, and monitor lizards. Geographic distribution. Parts of Africa, South and Central America, Mexico, India, Australia, and tropical islands. Tropical savanna. Receiving more seasonal rainfall than deserts but less than tropical dry forests, tropical savannas, or grasslands, are characterized by a cover of grasses. Savannas are spotted with isolated trees and small groves of trees and shrubs. Compact soils, fairly frequent fires, and the action of large animals such as rhinoceroses prevent some savanna areas from turning into dry forest. Abiotic factors. Warm temperatures, seasonal rainfall, compact soil, frequent fires set by lightning. Dominant plants. Tall, perennial grasses, sometimes drought-tolerant and fire-resistant trees or shrubs. Dominant wildlife. Predators such as lions, leopards, cheetahs, hyenas, and jackals. Aardvarks. Herbivores such as elephants, giraffes, antelopes, and zebras. Baboons, birds such as eagles, ostriches, weaver birds, and storks. Insects such as termites. Geographic distribution. Large parts of eastern Africa, southern Brazil, and northern Australia. Desert. All deserts are dry. In fact, a desert biome is defined as having annual precipitation of less than 25 centimeters. Beyond that, deserts vary greatly, depending on elevation and latitude. Many undergo extreme temperature changes during the course of a day, alternating between hot and cold. The organisms in this biome can tolerate the extreme conditions. Abiotic factors. Low precipitation, variable temperatures, soils rich in minerals but poor in organic matter. Dominant plants. Cacti and other succulents. Creosote, bush, and other plants with short growth cycles. Dominant wildlife. Predators such as mountain lions, great foxes, and bobcats. Herbivores such as mule deer, pronghorn antelopes, desert bighorn sheep, and kangaroo rats. Bats, birds such as owls, hawks, and roadrunners. Insects such as ants, beetles, butterflies, and wasps. Reptiles such as tortoises, rattlesnakes, and lizards. Geographic distribution. Africa, Asia, the Middle East, United States, Mexico, South America, and Australia. Temperate grassland, characterized by a rich mix of grasses and underlaid by some of the world's most fertile soils. Temperate grasslands, such as plains and prairies, once covered vast areas of the Midwestern and Central United States. Since the development of steel plow, however, most have been converted to agricultural fields. Periodic fires and heavy grazing by large herbivores maintain the characteristic plant community. Abiotic factors: warm to hot summers, cold winters, moderate seasonal precipitation, fertile soils, occasional fires. Dominant plants: lush, perennial grasses and herbs. Most are resistant to drought, fire, and cold. Dominant wildlife: predators such as coyotes and badgers, historically included wolves and grizzly bears. Herbivores such as mule deer, pronghorn antelopes, rabbits, prairie dogs, and introduced cattle, historically included bison. Birds such as hawks, owls, bobwhites, prairie chickens, mountain plovers, reptiles such as snakes, insects such as ants and grasshoppers. Geographic distribution: Central Asia, North America, Australia, Central Europe, and upland plateaus of South America. Temperate woodland and shrubland. This biome is characterized by a semi-arid climate and a mix of shrub communities and open woodlands. In the open woodlands, large areas of grasses and wildflowers such as poppies are interspersed with oak trees. Communities that are dominated by shrubs are also known as chaparral. The growth of dense, low plants that contain flammable oils make fires a constant threat. Abiotic factors: hot, dry summers, cold, moist winters, thin, nutrient-poor soils, periodic fires. Dominant plants: woody evergreen shrubs with small, leathery leaves, fragrant, oily herbs that grow during winter and die in summer. Dominant wildlife: predators such as coyotes, foxes, bobcats, and mountain lions. Herbivores such as black-tailed deer, rabbits, and squirrels. Birds such as hawks, California quails, warblers, and other songbirds. Reptiles such as lizards and snakes, butterflies. Geographic distribution: western coast of North and South America, areas along the Mediterranean Sea, South Africa, and Australia. Temperate forest. Temperate forests contain a mixture of deciduous and coniferous trees. Coniferous trees, or conifers, produce seed-bearing cones, and most have leaves shaped like needles. These forests have cold winters that halt plant growth for several months. In autumn, the deciduous trees shed their leaves. In spring, small plants burst out of the ground and flower. Soils of temperate forests are often rich in humus, a material formed from decaying leaves and other organic matter that makes soil fertile. Abiotic factors: cold to moderate winters, warm summers, year-round precipitation, fertile soils. Dominant plants: broadleaf deciduous trees, some conifers, flowering shrubs, herbs, a ground layer of mosses and ferns. Dominant wildlife: deer, black bears, bobcats, nut and corn feeders such as squirrels, omnivores such as raccoons and skunks, numerous songbirds, turkeys. Geographic distribution: eastern United States, southeastern Canada, most of Europe, and parts of Japan, China, and Australia.